Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Welcome home. Depending on where you are in relation to your journey with this channel and this kind of energy journey. This week we're talking about what's up from Monday the 26th of July till Sunday the 1st of August 2021. Well, hello, my friend. We are coming off of a week where Venus changed signs into Virgo. The Sun moved into Leo. Wow, okay. And we've been doing a lot of speaking, right? Feeling, right? We had that big full moon in Aquarius. We have another at the end of this month, at the end of August. And so basically what we're talking about is, right, speaking your truth, but not just any truth, right? These are your basement truths, right, as they are. That moon was conjunct Pluto. So this week we're putting things, like you think you went deep, but let's go deeper, shall we? So this week we start off with a Pisces moon, right? Already we're talking about better felt than spoken. We also have two aspects to that Leo Sun, brand newly minted, and that Virgo Venus, newly minted as well. So we're talking about feelings, right? Your life as your 3D service. How am I seen? How am I living my purpose? How am I serving? Also, the big questions are, where am I out of alignment, right? We get to check in, and with that moon in Pisces, we're talking about, are we looking or are we avoiding? How did I process all that big energy last week? How did it strike my soul? And at the end of Monday, we also have a beautiful moon sextile Uranus, helping to facilitate any shift that is required. This is a week where destiny is really heavily charged. We have a T-square this week or on Monday. Our Gemini North Node is squaring that moon Virgo Venus, right? So it's about feeling into your life as your service. How is it manifesting in 3D, or how isn't it, right? On Tuesday, boy, there's a lot going on. The moon conjuncts Neptune. So, right, it's like throwing a pebble in the water, right? Like blink, 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 and you get to watch it as it ripples out. Where's it going, right? What's the trajectory? What's out there that it's going to sonar, kind of bounce back, right? And then Mercury moves into Leo, and your immediate reaction is going to be, ooh, let's talk. Let me tell you what I've seen. Let me tell you what I've heard. Let me tell you what I've been feeling, right? But immediately following, within 1 minute of Mercury moving into Leo, the moon sextiles Pluto, asking you, wait, hold on, are you sure? Check that ripple again. Check that ripple again. So mind your mouth, right? Because this is about power. This is about depths. This is about transformation. This is far more seismic than Mercury in Leo. There's nothing wrong with Mercury in Leo, by the way, but it's asking you, look beyond that energy, look underneath it. And then later on, Mercury sextiles Jupiter, asking you, how are you expanding through your communications? What are you conjuring, right? What is it that you're conjuring with your expression? And are you sure, right? Because we have to be mindful, because sometimes what we conjure, we have to banish later, right? So here's the deal. If you're conjuring from that place of alignment, then you don't have to concern yourself with it later. On Wednesday, boy, we have a lot. There's just so much going on this week. On Wednesday, the North Node opposes Virgo Venus, right? It's a really interesting day. And one of the biggest things that happens is that Jupiter backs up into Aquarius. Of course, Jupiter's in retrograde. So, I mean, that's exciting, right? So we have this, you know, the moon moves into Aries, by the way, overnight. So you might have some dreams, right, that feel hot, passionate, right? What are you doing? Dreams of action. And then Jupiter, now in Pisces, backs up into Aquarius. So this is about waking up feeling super energized, right? Maybe having that that need to be in sharing, that need to really express yourself, but making sure that you're aligned, right? Making sure that you are standing as the event horizon between passion and compassion, making sure that those things are wedded, right? And as as Jupiter backs up into Aquarius, make sure that you are minding your zeal, right? Jupiter was in Aquarius from the 19th of December 2020 until the 13th of May 2021. So revisit what was going on for you, what was going on in the collective, right? And as we have that, this Jupiter in retrograde backs up through, and so we'll have Jupiter in Aquarius through the end of this year, right? The end of this year, there's a whole bunch of shifts, right? We've got that third perfection of the Saturn-Uranus square. So this is about your place in the community, right? We are dealing with a lot of Aquarian energy. This is about really minding where you are fair, where you are impartial, where you're open-minded, where you're progressive, where you are visionary, right? And just absolutely mind the way that you choose to be in expansion. Make sure that you're not overextending. Make sure that you're really in awareness of your boundaries, right? Let your visions pull you, certainly, but know where your boundaries are. Don't be afraid to push them, but be mindful, right, of how your destiny is created in 3D. On Thursday, wow. So are you still breathing by Thursday, right? Because we have the moon is going to conjunct Chiron, right? So we know that that is about feelings, and then healing, being healed, feeling your wounds. Mars opposes Jupiter. Again, we have more Jupiter activations, and then Mars moves into Virgo that afternoon. So be mindful of whether you're lighting yourself up or lighting yourself up on, or whether you're lighting yourself on fire, right? It can be a conflagration or it can be a blaze. Those are different things. I'm sorry, my kitty cat leaves me presents. So with that Mars-Jupiter opposition, you're going to really want to be in awareness of what you are doing, right? In terms of your own growth, your own expansion. Looking within, right? And as Mars moves into Virgo, really contemplating your service, right? This is a reminder that your actualized self is your best form of service to the collective. Your actualized self is your best form of service to the collective, right? Sometimes you have to mind your own business. Sometimes you have to do you. Sometimes you have to recognize that the only best advice you can give is to yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is a reminder. Be in awareness of that, especially as Mars goes into Virgo. And you know, you can pick everybody apart, but the only person you can change is you. So busy yourself with that, right? Knowing that that's your highest service. On Friday, the moon squares Pluto, right? Venus is in conjunct Saturn, and the moon moves into Taurus. So you're going to be butting up against things that are hidden, things that you may have swept under the rug, feelings that you perhaps didn't wish to look at, feelings that have, I saw you, perhaps come out or come up or come through, that you might not have wanted to recognize, right? What have you left done or undone? What have you, where have you overpromised? Where have you overextended? And as that moon moves into Taurus, right, then the call to action is get into your senses, get into your 3D, get into your self-care practices. Or you can always dig your heels in, right? So this is about your sensual experience. How can I witness, these things in terms of my five senses? What can I taste? What can I smell? What can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? And how can I witness that in myself in order to best be of service to myself, right? Again, knowing that the best service you can be in to the collective is that service to yourself. So Friday, self-care, 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 self-care. By the way, self-care. Did I say self-care? On Saturday, that Taurus moon makes a whole bunch of squares early in the day, to Mercury, to the Sun, to Saturn. Right. The other thing I would like to say is that the North Node sextiles the Sun and Mercury on this morning. This is about destiny and how you express and communicate your destiny. At these 8 degrees of Leo and Gemini, right? This, in my opinion, is the opening of the Lionsgate portal. We also have a beautiful this day, right? Our Virgo Venus is in conjunct both Saturn and Chiron, saying the life that you are creating, is it in your highest, right? Your best? Or are you creating from your places of woundedness? And you have to walk before you can run, right? You have to vision before you can create. So let the visions come. Right? We have Moon opposite Jupiter. We have the Sun and Mercury opposite Saturn. Let your visions come before you act on them. Right? As you open that Lionsgate portal, be in mindfulness of the highest and best that you can create here in 3D and allow that to be in service. Right? Not just to you, but everyone else. And then on Sunday, the Sun conjuncts Mercury. Abracadabra days, we know, right? But also in opposition to Saturn. So be mindful in your mantras. And in all those places, you have the opportunities to either walk it or talk it, right? Given the choice, let your actions speak, not your words. Even with that Sun conjunct Mercury, let your heart speak. Let your actions speak. Let what you're doing speak for you, right? You don't have to tell a lion how to be a lion, and a lion doesn't have to announce that he's a lion. Everybody knows, right? Okay, Monday. We're talking about judgment and the Four of Cups. So, right, we talked about your life as your service, right? Where are you out of alignment? So judgment is, we're Pluto, right? We're talking about Pluto here a lot this week. So we're going to talk about how we can recreate ourselves. The Four of Cups, right? How are we celebrating? How can we deepen it, right? This lone cup coming in from the universe, offering you perhaps a new way to feel. So How do you feel, Moon in Pisces that day? How do you feel? And are you in acceptance? Are you going to allow that to be your catalyst for shift and change? Right? Are you going to allow these gems that have come in last week as we really spoke our basement truths, right? Are we going to allow them to be in direction of our destiny as the sun and Venus are aspecting that moon? Are we going to be unafraid to see what's in that cup? Are we going to really, really be able to process what struck our soul? How are we going to be in our transformation? Are we going to be like, oh, yes, thank you, let me make this happen? Or are we going to be like, womp womp? You have that choice. You always have that choice, right? You always have that awareness. We've got the Ten of Cups. We've got the Seven of Swords. Okay, so this is the day that the moon is conjunct Neptune, right? And we talked about how Mercury is moving into Leo. But wait, let me tell you. Let me tell you what I've seen. Let me tell you what I've learned. The moon is conjunct Neptune. It's so beautiful. There's so much here. Make sure Mercury is in conjunct Jupiter. Make sure that you know what you're conjuring, right? Make sure that you're not confused or in conflict with this vision. Right? Make sure, right, as Moon and Pluto sextile, that you know, because this power of transformation is going to carry through. So as we move through this week, make sure that what you're calling to you is really what you're in alignment with, what your soul is asking you for. On Wednesday, right, we're talking a lot about destiny, right? So this is that day that you wake up and the moon will have shifted into Aries, but then Jupiter rolls back into Aquarius. Okay, so again, look at this. We have the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Cups. 2 days in a row. Mind your zealotry, right? Remember that what you're doing is what you're doing, what you're creating. This Ten of Cups, right? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We can't argue. Nobody can argue with the Ten of Cups. It's a happy life. It's emotional fulfillment. It's complete and total emotional balance. It is about being visionary in your expansion. It is about minding all of your actions, right? It's about not being afraid to stand in your passion. Hello, we've got a moon in Aries. But make sure that you're not creating from any place of deception. As that North Node opposes Virgo Venus, you're going to want to make sure that you're in service. Now, here's the thing. You can be deceived. You can deceive yourself. Make sure that you're not deceiving yourself, right? Just be in alignment with this archway so that you can step through, right, instead of holding back. Yeah, absolutely. Thursday. This is that day that we're going to want to talk about the moon conjunct Chiron, right? How are we in service as Mars moves into Venus, or as Mars moves into Virgo? I'm so sorry. How are you growing? How are you expanding? And remember, we're talking about you being the highest form of service. So we've got the Princess of Cups, right? And the Princess of Cups is that lovely energy of bringing in new ways of emotional fulfillment, which, guess what? We've had our awareness of all of those ways about emotional fulfillment. If we have not thrown swords in our way, if let our ideas get into our way of how we want to expand, not thrown up roadblocks to our own happiness, right? Because that's self-deception. Do you deserve it all? Yeah, you do. If you've done the work, you do deserve it all. So the thing that we don't want to do is to get in our own self-deception. So as that Princess of Cups brings in all the messaging about how you are free, right, to be in reclamation of your own happiness. The Eight of Pentacles allows you to create through your daily service, through your action, right? Yourself as that individualized servant, right? Not slave, but servant, right? And so as you go about your daily business, mindful of what you are doing and no one else, you actually get to claim your own emotional fulfillment. So you light yourself up or you set yourself on fire. And the way that you figure that out is through what you do every day, every single day. On Friday, right, this is that day that the moon squares Pluto, and then later on in that afternoon moves into Taurus. So we're talking about, what have I hidden? What have I left undone? Where have I overpromised? Where have I overextended? Did I leave anything out in the yard, right? Because Venus is in conjunct Saturn this day. So if I left stuff out in the yard, guess what? It's going to probably come back and whack me upside the head. That's okay. Those are lessons, right? So the Three of Wands is about long-term planning. It's about how we bring our passions to ourself, to our own service. It's about knowing that the work we've done is paying off. So here's the deal. If you left stuff out in the yard, yeah, you get the lesson. But if you clean up your yard, then you don't have to worry about it. And when that moon moves into Taurus, you're going to have the opportunity to really dive into yourself, to your self-care practices, right? Your self-care practices or not. And so hopefully you have that self-care practice, and that as you integrate those lessons, you create something brand new, right? You come into that state of deserving, right? What you deserve, as opposed to where you've been in deception. So, I mean, you know, to bastardize a phrase, bullshit talks, but self-care walks, right? All the work that you've done is going to take care of you. So there you go. On Saturday. So this is that Taurus moon business day, right? Squaring Mercury, the sun, and Saturn. This is the day that the North Node sextiles the sun and Mercury. And so, like I said, this is the day that I'm going to witness as the opening of that Lionsgate portal. So here's the deal. We have the sun in Leo. We've got the moon squaring Mercury, right? Where are you creating your highest, your best? Where are you digging in your visions? We've got the Three of Wands again. Okay, we have the Ten of Swords here. This is the end of a cycle. We've got the Ace of Swords here. This is the beginning of a cycle. So what you're putting down, you have this brand new opportunity that you're picking up. Let those visions come, right? Let them come. And this is how you create. It's okay to release the beliefs that haven't been serving you. It's okay to witness that, oh, in service to myself, all of these things that I've maybe left undone, maybe left unsaid, maybe left unfinished, all these places that I overextended myself and have not been in my own best interest, right? We're going to let those go. We're going to let that go. This is completion, right? Integration. This is beginning. These are ideas of beginning. This is all of the inception, all of the letting those visions come. The moon is conjunct Uranus this evening. Let the change accompany the vision, right? The North Node is sextile the sun. You create your own destiny. You speak your own destiny. And so then let's please talk about Sunday, right? We talked about this is the day that sun is conjunct Mercury. Abracadabra, the Queen of Swords, right? So what I'm creating, I am in the power to embody, right? We've got Jupiter in Aquarius, and we understand the power of our words, and we are ready to defend our passions, right? Let your heart speak for you. Let your actions speak for you, not your words, right? The Queen of Swords doesn't need her words. She is the embodiment of the ideas behind those words. And if you have created in that faith, then all you need to do is stand behind what you're creating. Right? Your heart speaks for you. You don't have to run around and tell everybody you're a lion, right? They will know. They will see. I promise you, they will see that you're a lion. So, well, okay. All right. How about that? We don't even need to shuffle sometimes. So, I mean, do the thing, right? So do what you know you need to do. Do it. You know, moving in silence was a big theme for 2021. Right? And it's about how we spin, right, our nonsense. We spin that nonsense out, and then we have to let it go. We have to, you know, see what comes back, right? And see how it resonates. And then we let it go. And all the places where this Seven of Swords energy was dominant, we had to make choices. We had to make choices based on what we felt, what we witnessed, what we believed was in our destiny, right? And guess what? That's how we do it. We do the work, do the work, do the work every day. And then we know. I mean, look, we have a lot of really significant duplications. Three of Wands. This is about what you know, what you have created, what you know is coming, because you have done, right, the work to be deserving. You have released your limiting beliefs. You've not just released your limiting beliefs, but you've integrated the lessons, and then you have stepped right into reclamation of those, right? And you know where you're defending. So when you act, you get to do the thing. You don't just have to talk about it. You don't just have to think about it, because your actions have spoken for you, right? They have preceded you. And this week is a really, really big week to honor your own service. Next week, we do have the Lionsgate portal, right? It is the new moon at 16 degrees Leo. The 8-8 portal at 16 degrees Leo. And if you don't think that math is deliberate, I challenge you to explain it any other way. And in Eileen land, random doesn't work. So that moon will be square Uranus and trining Chiron, really allowing you to eject any and all of your own programming. How about that? Isn't that amazing? I kind of think it is. All right, we just want one. Okay, I think we got two. We're going to see. Yeah, it felt like two. All right, we're going to take them both. We don't usually do that, but we will. So we have 13, the Crow, and 63, Wind. Okay. By the way, I love crows. Who doesn't? They're so cool. All right, the Crow. The Crow is the keeper of universal law, the law of truth. Crow teaches us to walk our talk. I mean, come on. To find the congruence between who we say we are and who we really know ourselves to be. This winged one insists that we speak truth, and that we create truth instead of searching for it, and that we bring truth to every situation we find ourselves in. Really? Okay. When you speak and practice the truth, eventually everything you say becomes true. Your power to co-create with the truth is a universal law. Correct what is untrue in your life without judgment and let the truth set you free. Be true to your word. Crow arrives just as we have convinced ourselves that what we are doing is right and justified. While this may be the case in the realm of relative truth, in the higher realm of absolute truth, it is not. Look deeply into your heart and remain alert, lest you convince yourself of something that isn't deeply true for you, or perhaps is not the highest truth. Do not seduce yourself with illusions, right? And those are the illusions that we're letting go of this week and stepping then into our destiny. So that's what the crow has to say. Let's look at this beautiful wind. So much movement in this card. See the falcon? Looks like Horus, doesn't it? I mean, hello. Beautiful. All right. The symbol of the wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas. It also signifies change with qualities both positive and negative. The wind blows from each of the 4 directions, and there are different qualities bestowed by each. South, carrying a new sense of trust, helping you to gently begin to discard habits and parts of yourself that are no longer needed, right? West, calling you to more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachment and ego desires. Absolutely, right? We're releasing all of those prior judgments that we've been hung up on and accepting the new way we are. North, moving to bring you wisdom and strength. Yeah. East, carrying clarity of vision and purpose, right? That's all of this. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind whispers or shouts is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you'll find exultation in moving toward it and receiving its lessons. When the wind comes calling, it's a sign of change. Perhaps you need to change your mind about something. Perhaps the old ways of doing things has become automatic, and now that you've gained greater clarity, you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communication with others at this time. Ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for is in the highest good of all. Okay, so we talked about all of those things. Right? Just stand in your space, guys. Just stand as your space. Do the thing, right? Accept what you've learned. Put down what you haven't. Put down all your own nonsense and step into where you're called to be, right? Your destiny is here, and your destiny is created every decision, every choice, every day, every breath. You can get caught up in all that nonsense, or you can choose to move forward, right? You can choose to allow your passion to become your new way of life. That's up to you. If you've called it in, it's knocking on the door. Next week, Lionsgate Portal, new moon. Be in it to win it, y'all, because this is a big one. We'll talk more next week. Until then, big, giant blessings.